America.
First arrived in Indonesia.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine, those days when these people think that he's in Black America, he went to the market and bought a fake chain. You know how they... he bought a fake chain, you know, start walking like Black America. He told me to walk like Black America. Because the way I'm walking, I'm not walking like Black America. So I have to be, you know, going
Yo.
Yeah. Yo. God. But you know, along they were curious because you know Vietnam is the only place America lost their war. America lost their war in Vietnam. When you go to Cuchi Tunnel, there's a place they call Cuchi Tunnel in Vietnam. They celebrate their war. That's where they bring John McCain. You know John McCain? That's where they bring him down. I know him. That's where they bring him down. If you go to Vietnam, they will show you where they shot him down. They show you where they captured. I know the people that won the war. Vietnamese women won the war, not the male. The women won the war. So up to today, the women are very strong. But what we are saying is that when you come the first time, they look at you guys, they empathize with you guys. But when some people start engaging in wrong things, then the hatred later turn to racism. You understand? The hatred later turn to racism. That's what we are facing today. It spreads so fast. Don't say when I was in Singapore, because I was the first black guy in Singapore.
When things went wrong, they started using catapults to shoot us while we were on top of their bike.
Oh God!
Because they think we are Americans, because they were thinking we are Americans because they don't like Americans. They use catapult as a black man. They think we are Americans. The bad one from Bandarachi, those one they are extremists. They call them the Baltic Muslim also. They are very extreme. They don't like you as a black man at all. These are the people that preach.
Marisa,
inside the box.
Marisa, I don't know the movie. Have you watched this movie before? I don't know what movie is that. Yeah.
I watched the movie Harriet. It was such a good movie. Made cry. She had Harriet. I think I saw that yesterday on YouTube. I didn't watch it. I think that movie probably was made somewhere around.
What is he talking about? Highlight us.
Yeah, Marisa, if you are watching, then you can highlight us more. Yeah. Is that about racism or that's what we are looking on today?
I think so. Was about a young lady or something.
Okay. Yeah, so you begin to understand. Look at when they have, do you know that when they have this COVID-19, I came across a video from China where the blacks were kicked out in this kind of condition. They kicked them out, basically doing nothing for nothing's sake. They want to expose them to the COVID-19 so they would die off. This is what the China have in mind. So that's what you think. You say,
in this country, there's a nurse that is working in COVID-19 unit. She said,
about slave. Okay.
She don't think twice, removing the ventilator from a foreigner and giving it to South Africa.
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's about a young girl, a young lady or something.
It must be interesting.
It's very horrible.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah, they were shooting and killing.
Yeah,
100 miles to freedom.
Wow. So yeah, when we are talking about all these racist things, a lot of things that happen in this world.
According to this, it's a true story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I probably have thank Marisa Catalano. Thanks very much for highlighting us on this. We think that a lot of people, a lot of people don't understand what racism means. Like, if you are somebody of color, you find out like some people can be good, but when they come to this area, they begin to play that race card. which is very difficult. It hurts so much because it kind of like get into your heart, as if kind of pierce your heart. And when you jump, let me just be honest with you. When you jump some people that scam people, you ask them, brother, why are you doing this? You tell you why. Why do you care? These people are very racist. They will use that word. They are racist to you. Once they say they are racist to you, you back off. You say, okay. They say, why then? Why are you disturbing? If you go to these people now, they will hardly welcome you in their home. They may see you on the street and say hi, but they will not open their heart to accept you as a human.
Their hi is like this.
Yeah, you see?
They will never talk.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do. They put their mouth.
Yeah. So, you know, it hurts so much. Like, we find out that if the world can be the same place, if you can make the world peaceful, everybody can love each other, then we are getting some good area. But the way things go sometimes, it makes the situation, you know, even I had somebody.
I think the world is a little bit opening right now compared to where it used to be before. And I read something in history that in either Scotland or Ireland, they were all black before. They were all exterminated. And they occupied the land. The remaining one crossed over to Africa. So they were all blacks. There was no white there. So, and they get rid of all of them. So I think it's in the history. So it's about supremacy. You know, so you see, sometimes when I analyze things, when I do my live broadcast, you see, I try to go deep down to try to get people to understand what I'm talking about. If you travel extensively, you find out that majority of the places you go, they don't like you.
Yeah,
they don't like you. The only place I felt liked was in Bulgaria.
Really?
That was back 1991. In Bulgaria, I keep buying things in the shop. You know, this is no, this is yes in Bulgaria. So if you arrive there and you don't know what you're doing, every time you shake your head, you have just said no. so every time I buy something, they will say, "Oh, there's change." I will say, "That means no change." I left. So these people were keeping the money every time I buy something. So they discovered that I'm not living in their means, that I've been there for 1 month, 2 months. I was there for 8 months in Bulgaria. After 4 months, somebody came. It was a pilot. It was based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. It's a Bulgarian. He speaks English. He came also to buy something in that same shop. That was the area is called Ellen Pelin. We all happened to meet there, and he said, "Oh, he can speak English."
Was an American.
I was very happy that at least I can find someone that can speak English. Then now the owner of the shop, they call it magazine, now said to them that they are owing me money. And I said, "They are not owing me. I only just buy and go." So because I don't know how the way the money, so they were keeping the change for me. Until one day I met that guy. They've saved me over $200.
Wow.
In the same shop. And that is the only place I buy my things every time I go. You know? So the moment I just pay, I just grab my things because it's very cold. I just keep running away. And I didn't realize that they were just keeping the money for me over there. And I was very happy, and I was broke when that man came to my rescue. You know. And then the other place I was helped also was in Zambia, when I just crossed out of Chichilababwe to Kitwe, and someone gave me the free accommodation for 2 weeks in Lusaka.
At least I just get off this thing. Oh, at least I covered you. Can't get the program. You just give us brief this thing about this thing. At least I just give us brief about the this thing video. Yeah. So it's saying
families and friends.
Oh, it was about a slavery.
Yeah, the one Melissa was saying. Yeah,
it's about slavery. So the thing has to cover you guys' face, you know.
Yeah, sorry, the thing has to cover you guys' face just for a minute. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, wow,
I
that's
just googled that now. No, that's all. I just googled.
yeah.
Are you guys
Wow.
starting with me or someone is leaving me a message?
Huh?
I think someone has
Um,
left me a message. I can see it from here, but let me see if
okay.
I can open it.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's so like what you're saying. Like we live in a world that we think that we knows better, but I think all race have something to give in this world. Like we have flowers, like we have the flowers, we can actually build together and work together and make things happen. But when we keep going different ways, every time fighting each other. Like last time we have Black Lives Matters. We talk about that. But the African American, when they saw African, they were kind of hatred and racist. They're also thinking about going to Africa. When you go to Africa, it's different ball game entirely. African culture is different from American culture. In America, I saw some of the women, older women fighting on the street. I say Africa, we don't do that. It's hardly you see our women fighting on the street, wearing their clothes and speaking all this thing or go to hell and all those things. It's hard. It's hard you find all those kind of a thing. A lot of things that we need to understand here. In Australia, we can do better. Australia now is becoming more multicultural, which we are more, opening up to things. People are being held accountable on, when they discriminate against you. They can only do those things. They can only do those things in hiding. Because if they do it where you understand, you can take the case up, then everybody will start shouting that we want equality, we want justice for you. I hope other countries will start doing this similar thing, Like, I must give you talk about the Indonesia. You remember? Do you know what happened to some of the Nigerians in Indonesia? I think you talked about it last time.
Yeah, yeah. Indonesia is like I said, where I was there, things were very peaceful and I never encountered any issue. The only issue that was there was the shooting and killing of the innocent people. But when I left, you things get bizarre, and we run a company represented with
Lisa,
customer
thank you for
services,
your finding.
you know. Yeah. Uh, the situation there in Indonesia right now is so critical that I see people jumping off from the story building because of the police went to go and raid the building, and there was people that were living in that building. They don't have a resident permit. He was scared of being deported or being arrested. He jumped off the story building and took his life. But if you are not closer to the story, they'll probably tell you different things. And there's so many people have lost their life in Indonesia as a black person, either through accident, through armed robbery, through stabbing. So many things happen in that place. So if you are not careful, you'll be shot, and then they will give you a bad name. There's a television channel they call Chakrawala. When the police is going on the raid, they go with that television channel and they want to broadcast it live. And half of those stories that come on live on that television channel, some of them are very, very horrific. They will lie. The policeman will shoot you and put a gun in your hand and say they were defending themselves. So many bad things happen in that place. The police is so corrupt, you know. If I was an advocate, I would advocate for black people not to go to that place. One, there's no job. If you have to live in that place, you have to create something to make money for yourself.
Okay, Lisa, you have been
Yes.
Lisa, you have been around black people here. Do you feel they discriminate against you when you come around them here?
Not once.
You see?
That is the truth. Not once. I think that says it all. I mean, and the other thing is too, is I do, when I come across a black person who hasn't met me before, at first there's a bit of hesitation. There's a bit of hesitation, a bit of like let's see what
Yeah,
this guy's
yeah.
like. As soon as I say my wife is from Nigeria and
Let it
we
come in.
got married in Nigeria, and I've been in Nigeria twice, I've been to Ghana twice, bang. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. They know that you are home.
it's like,
That's true. But
there's
you
no
know what
more
they know.
barrier.
Now you
No
want to
more
even
barrier.
collect your telephone number.
That's
So you can
They know
right.
that you are lying.
But even before I flew to Nigeria and married, I lived in Springvale. So I lived in Springvale for 10 years. I lived there at the time that young Sudanese guy got murdered at Noble Park Station, Liep
Wow.
Goni. I don't know if you remember that, do you? Do you remember that?
No, no,
Anyway,
no, no. The only one I knew about was the one the dog murdered the baby.
no, not the no. It was Liep Goni. He was a teenager. He gave cheek to a white guy who was racist. Okay, and he and his friend ran after him, hunted him down, and murdered him
You guys
at the
keep
Noble
going.
Park train station. But what
Wow.
happened? What happened at the time of that event was that instead of concentrating on poor young man, had a promising future, family suffering because of the loss of him, and so forth, what they did is
Wow.
they turned into an issue of the Sudanese are not assimilating into Australian society. That's what the Australian media did, And
How would you
I
run an
was
organization
disgusted.
that mm, how
I
would you
was
run an
disgusted
organization that
by it.
help people integrate
Yeah.
it into the system? Like I said in my previous statement, that the Sudanese came into this country, they didn't give them enough orientation. So that's why some of these people commit do whatever they do. So
Yeah, but this
they
guy
only
did
give them
nothing wrong.
only 500 English
Oh, so bad to
hours to learn
hear. I don't
English.
know what to do. Yeah.
So I don't know how
This
someone
guy
is
did
going to learn
nothing
English
wrong.
speaking in 500 hours. So
Yeah.
that's all they were giving to
But
them.
when they bring media, when they, like a few years ago, when they was creating media attention about Sudanese bucking up in the city and so forth, I worked in the city most nights of the week. The temporary taxi rank that they have on Queen Street between Collins Street and Burke Street,
Yeah.
I worked on that. Okay? Sometimes, some weekends, I would work on that. So
Okay.
after midnight, they closed down Queen Street, and I'd work on that. And there would be like about 3, 4, maybe at the most Sudanese when they've had too much to drink and they're fighting each other. And the women hit the men just as much as the men hit the women.
Yeah.
When they're fighting. And one of us is like when they reported about one incident in another suburb, they said like 250 Sudanese involved in a fight sort of thing.
Normally they go
This
in
was
they
5
go
people
in a group too.
per
We go in a group. Yeah.
They go in a group. If you touch one, you touch all of them. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So you can't believe the media when they tell you about things that happen.
No, 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 no,
But
no.
sometimes
It was because Peter Dutton take it overboard. That is why everything went
Um,
out of proportion, and it was start telling everybody that because of the black people, the white people can no longer go to eat in a restaurant. It was go out of
yeah,
proportion.
that's that guy.
I,
That guy.
I think Peter Dutton shines his head too much.
Yeah, but you see, the other day
You know what I mean?
he has coronavirus. People said he should go to where to the refugee camp somewhere to go and be saluted because the way he
Okay.
handle issues, the way he handle
Yeah, we have a
issues.
question there asking what is the originating cause of racism?
Yeah, but yeah, where do you think racism originates?
I think racism
Because the
originated
white
from
man land.
America.
From America?
America probably started the whole issue. And don't get me wrong, the British contributed a lot of it. After they colonized America, America fight back and take their land off there. And between the Red Indians and the Aboriginals in Canada and the Aboriginals here, British orchestrated all of them. But the black issue started in America when they came to take the black Africans to go and work in their sugarcane farm. And also, I want to blame the black people for that because the white people only came to ask for manpower. They were not asking for slave. When they came to ask for manpower, instead of them to tell them how they were making their artifacts, they now sell their brothers and sisters.
Okay, 1 minute. Guys, like you guys know, our time is running much faster. At least 1 minute. Our time is running faster. Huh? So we'll be clear. Huh? Yeah.
Let me say something.
I see two reasons for racism. One, ignorance. The other one, greed. So yeah. So when somebody wants to have something you have, they'll say bad things about you. They'll mistreat you and grab whatever you have. You know.
Yep.
Ignorance and greed. That's all I say. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
But guys, when we are running, we just have like 10 minutes to go. But me to Cythia, how do you see racism? What do you think? How do you see? Where do you think it originated from?
From the white man land. Are they not the one that is using black as a slaves?
Yeah.
So it originated from there. They started treating the black people because we are not same color with them. So all of a sudden, when one thing about black is that when they start their own, it's West. Now even black people even do it more worse than the white people.
I don't know how I'm gonna place this. But if you
Just
look at
imagine here in South Africa, there's a nurse who is working on a COVID-19 unit. She said that she doesn't think twice removing
Afraid of unknown. It's because of racism. Okay.
Yeah, it's because of racism. Removing it from a foreigner in South Africa. And when they asked her, why are you doing so? Because you people are all blacks, you are one. She said, no, they must go back to their country and receive treatment.
Wow.
So
that is very sad.
Yeah.
You see, just look around the world and see. The Bible will all used to preach and teach. Because if you look at the whole laws that is guiding the world, it started from the Bible. The 10 Commandments. That is where they draw all the laws from. Every nation, they draw the law of the 10 Commandments to create all these laws now that we are not multiplying every now and then. But from the African perspective, if you look at the way where Africans have come from, you begin to wonder, why are we still poor? And we blame everything on the white people. You see, if you look at it, King Solomon is an African. David is an African. Peter is an African. Even Jesus Christ was once in Africa. King Pharaoh. All these big names. All these big names in the Bible. They're all Africans.
Listen, I was like,
African is still suffering.
It's good business. It's good business.
You see? So why would we have to blame the white people if David was an African? Theodora was an African. John the Baptist. You look at all these names, King Solomon. All these things were once in Ethiopia. Peter, John, all of them. Nearly the 12 disciples was an African. And yet, black men.
to be honest, I did not see them being South African. I didn't see anywhere landmark in the Bible that tells me they are South African. But I won't say this.
They are South African. I said they are African.
No, they say an African.
The Africa. Yes.
Solomon is an African. David is an African.
Yeah.
All the heritage, they were all African. Peter died in Libya.
Yeah.
Peter, I heard it too.
He died in Libya. He's an African. So when you look at the whole context, if you check the majority of the names in the Bible are Africans. And yet, African is behind. That's why sometimes I ask myself, who did this to us? So where did the hatred start from? Is it through King Pharaoh, or we have to blame the West?
So if black people are all Africans, and all those people in the Bible are African, where does the white people originated from?
See,
the Caucasus Mountains.
If you treat the Bible very well,
the Caucasus Mountains in Europe.
If you look at the Bible very well, it did not differentiate. The Bible did not differentiate the color.
The color, yes.
Nobody know the actual color of these people. People were saying the first Roman Catholic priest was a black man too.
You know, let me just say this thing. There's something we don't understand. And we asked about the
one of my friends is sitting watching, he's talking about the Roman Catholic. Anna Osay. How are you? Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm just saying hello to my
Okay.
Okay. Happy New Year, Anna Osay. So let's say, but Jeff, this is the truth. People don't understand this. Even racism, there's racism in the Bible. There is racism in the Bible. Yes. Do you know that King Solomon, very rich guy, were the most richest man that ever existed on planet, actually said that the people should not, judge anything. They should just ignore it. That his brothers, people are treating badly.
Put that the richest man that ever existed on the face of the planet was the king from the Malian Empire.
No, forget. You are talking about this guy. No, for Ethiopia. No, King Solomon. Huh?
Just Google it. You see the richest black person on earth is a black man. He was from.
King Solomon is a black man. Wait. King Solomon. Yeah, King Solomon actually tell the people that they should not ignore things because they are treating him bad because of his skin, because of his black skin. That's why he said. That's why his brothers are treating him bad because of his black skin. The Bible did not treat that. They just keep silent on that, We people, we need to understand some of these things. There's some things in the Bible that we overlook, but they're actually in the Bible there. How can we make it happen? When you're thinking about racism started from England, between the Irish, Scottish, and the other English people, which they still fight it today. They still fight up to today. That's weird. They are the first slave. Not Africans are not the first slave. They are actually the first slave. The Irish people. Irish, Scottish. They are the first slave before they come down to Africa. During that time, yeah, this red hair, where they say people red hair and all this skin. This, but when they come to Africa, they have to unite because they want slaves to work the palace for them. That's why they unite to make a common goal. So they begin to buy slaves, trade slaves.
They actually came for more power. They were not there for slaves. The black man sell his people to make money, trade by barter.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I wouldn't blame the white people. When the white people discover they don't value themselves, then they take it their stream. It was a black man that said his people.
Yeah, the English was people, we Africa, we don't understand. We always say that Africans were slaves. But when you talk about the slave, the white people first, then they came to Africa to take the blacks. Then they use us. We are the one that we get ourselves because what happened that the black people, they came to sell their people to make money.
Okay.
So that
There's a question for you. There's a question for you.
But
that's the question.
That the English was taken by the Roman in the ancient world. Yeah, that's true. But I see a question about English, I think the English have been there, Roman Empire. I'm not sure about that anyway. But I think the English have been in this business for a long time. They have been in the business of slave for a long time. That's what chased these people away. That's what chased Columbus away to discover America.
In the Roman Empire, if you look at it, the rod of staff from Moses was an African rod. And
when you're talking about Roman Empire, then we have to go back to Greek. We have to go back to Greek. This is where the history begins. We have to go back those areas, begin to find about slavery. A lot of things happens, but let's just where we stop today. It's so hard to find out. But the truth is that nobody is racist. Racist is being taught by parents. If you have children,